No one cares, and no one pays attention to him, which makes Peter feel a bit insecure. What Peter said suddenly made him feel noticed, and today is also Peter's high school graduation ceremony. Peter's girlfriend Gwen spoke as student rep, but when he arrived, he couldn't spot her in the crowd. Suddenly seeing Gwen's father brought back memories of how he looked on his deathbed, leaving Peter feeling a mix of emotions. Originally, Peter and Gwen had a family dinner planned that evening, but he hesitated at the door. Peter felt guilty over his recurring visions, sorry for Gwen's late father. Despite her persuasion, he ultimately left her. Peter felt completely lost, and after the day, he threw all his energy into maintaining peace in New York. While wandering aimlessly, he discovered a little boy being bullied, immediately scaring off the bullies and praising the boy's homemade wind turbine as brilliant. This little boy eventually started rising out of the shadows of school bullying, becoming a vital character. Ever since being saved by Spider-Man, Max's home turned into a Spider-Man museum filled with toys and posters. He considers Spider-Man a close friend and believes Spider-Man thinks today is Max's birthday, but his boss kept him at work due to a power equipment failure, leaving him alone to fix it. Even though Max was very unwilling, he didn't know how to refuse others and ended up having to fix the equipment alone. He successfully connected the cable, thinking everything was going smoothly, when suddenly Max got electrocuted. In despair, he hugged the cable and fell into a fish tank full of water, and soon he was completely still. At the Osborn family, Harry suffers a rare hereditary disease striking young. His life's energy and wealth go to curing it. Subtitles: soon after, his father died, and Harry inherited the company, but executives refused to obey 20-something. They longed for the power of the $20 billion company and decided to skip over Harry for everything, making decisions without his approval. But Harry's attitude was very resolute. The company is his now, and anything must go through his secretary for reporting. The executives felt very displeased but had no choice. Peter saw the news of Harry's father's death and ran to Harry's company to comfort his old friend. The two chatted to ease their emotions, and Peter casually mentioned his girlfriend Gwen while talking about her job at Oscorp. However, everything they did was overheard by someone sent by the higher-ups, who also hid the truth about Max's death by electrocution. Subtitle: he intended to use this to spy on him. Unaware Max wasn't dead. His body moved slowly in the dark. Max shed his skin, revealing a bluish glow, gaining superpowers, found some clothes to wear, and stepped out onto the street. As he walked down the street, all the cars started honking at him, and Max casually touched the headlights of the cars. Times L pound a tilde divided by half a than join themselves a amount letters we see a u amount I grove you grovo I amount a circumflex times o amount I cute letter fb3 micro a amount enjoying family time pound I know circumflex arbicletter 6b 1 pound 3 o amount o grove a circumflex micro lu acute letter vfc o tilde a cute grove a cute f o amount micro yen should easy not sign all I circumflex l hatch a amount I low acute up o amount micro and turn retroflex a amount I without a plus or minus at 0 y cute I times o circumflexity 3c a circumflex so circumflex turn retroflex I amount not sign e grossi still glottal stroke is circumflex so amount lot o amount divided by r cute I amount micro let 3 copyright. He's about to be accepted by Oxford when Peter's instincts warn him something's happening in Times Square. He swiftly became Spider-Man, rushed to the scene. Max was at Times Square, absorbing energy from cables and lifting a car. The police quickly surrounded him, and reporters began shooting pictures, causing Max to drop his jaw in disbelief when he saw himself on the big screen. Finally, attention turned to this overlooked character, who felt both thrilled and sad, absorbing Times Square's energy and sweeping away nearby vehicles. Police immediately opened fire on him, but the bullets vanished before they could even get close. And Peter arrived at the scene as well. He desperately shouted for them to stop shooting and tried to reach out to Max, saying, "Friend Max, you don't have to do this." Just then, Max accidentally stepped in a water puddle, making an unintended move, causing the sniper to mistakenly think he was going to attack and fire. Max instantly became furious, feeling that everything was a trick against him, and he directly attacked the sniper. Seeing this, Spider-Man rushed in to stop him, only to be electrocuted by Max, crashing heavily into a nearby car. Suddenly, the big screen in the square fell down, and Peter hurriedly shot a web to save an officer, while the onlookers began shouting Spider-Man's name. Meanwhile, the crowd also began shouting at Max, and the situation was quickly spiraling out of control. Upon seeing Spider-Man on the screen, Max's anger gradually built up, believing that everything was orchestrated by Spider-Man. He blamed everything on Peter, while Peter cleverly dodged vehicles and swiftly shot webs to rescue the spectators. Max kept attacking Peter, who dodged and then used his webs to pull up a fire hydrant to throw at Max, only to be shocked himself. Max was launched into the big screen, picked up a cable, and plugged it into his chest, absorbing an enormous amount of electricity. The entire Times Square went completely dark, and the terrifying Max could not only release currents but even hover in the air. His combat power skyrocketed. At that moment, Peter was nearby preparing to grab a fire hose, ready for a water battle. After being splashed with water, the current traveled to the ground, and he couldn't stand anymore. He gritted his teeth, filled with resentment. Back home, Peter started rummaging through his father's briefcase. He found a card and a coin, planning to search for the card's information on the computer, ultimately leading him to an... Meanwhile, Harry inadvertently revealed a chip left by his father, uncovering a trove of classified project information. Several projects drew Harry's notice: a self-healing green armor and a spider that treats necrotic souls. Upon discovering all this, Harry immediately called Peter, asking for help. He knew Peter had been providing Spider-Man photos to the paper and guessed that Peter must know Spider-Man. Harry hoped Peter could contact Spider-Man to get some of his blood to treat his family's hereditary disease, or he might not last long. Although Peter was worried, seeing Harry's firm stance, he reluctantly agreed. So he promised to get Spider-Man over.